Hi, I'm back again with another 10 questions to support your PGMP exam preparation. I'm focusing more on program lifecycle domain related question in this particular video. I am starting with the question number 21 because I have already made 20 questions in the past. My objective of making these videos is to ensure that you start developing the mindset which will help you in navigating the exam question while you are giving the PGMP exam. So let's start with question number 21. You are managing a program to implement an enterprise-wide digital transformation across multiple business units. The program includes several interdependent projects such as cloud migration, application modernization, and user training. During the planning phase, stakeholders express concern about overlapping work between projects, unclear ownership of the work, and potential resource conflict. So we understand first three lines are just explaining there is a program which has multiple projects, and then last three lines are more focusing on the stakeholders' concern about overlapping work, ownership, and potential resource conflict. Which of the following tool would best help you in addressing these issues? So I need to find out the last two lines things get handled by which particular tool in the option. Option A, resource management plan. So I would say resource management plan is more about how do I acquire, how do I train, how do I manage, how do I release resources. It's overall onboarding and taking care of physical and human resources. That's the major focus of resource management plan. It may not necessarily get too much detail into ownership of the work. It may have a roles and responsibilities of different individuals or the groups, but not necessarily a very clear mapping to the work and the person. It may have a high level roles and responsibility. So I find to find a better than option A. Let's go with other options first. Option B, program roadmap. So program roadmap can help me in understanding the high level milestones, the timelines, the overall interdependencies. That thing can come very clearly, but not necessarily showing the component level details and mapping to who is doing what, which helps me in resolving overlaps. So that part is not very clearly coming in. It gives me a overall direction and ensure that our program is moving towards a strategic objective. It shows me the movement. Let's see the option C, work breakdown structure. A good part of work breakdown structure, we understand it's a decomposition. It helps us in identifying what all components will go to different elements. So we can have a program level work breakdown structure. It will definitely give me a clear view of ownership. It ensures that I can identify overlapping components. I can also explain which part is going to whose areas and help me in resolving resource conflict. So out of ABC, C is definitely a good idea as of now. Resource calendar, it's a part of a resource management plan usually, or it is more about who is available when for how many hours. That part is there. A view of a resource calendar can help me in resolving some kind of overloading and underloading, but may not help me in understanding the clear accountability, ownership, and potential resource conflict. That is high level view is not coming. It's more about who is available when and what is allocation of these people on a given time period. So looking at these options, I need to choose the best available because it is not like a thing which is clear cut given in the exam. So we see the work breakdown structure takes care of the concern which is raised in the question. So I go with option C. If you have your own opinion, please drop in the comment. We can discuss. You don't have to agree with my answers all the time. But this is what I believe based on the program management standard and the understanding of projects and program management. The option C should look good when you are giving the exam. Question number 22. You are managing a program consists of three constituent projects: cloud infrastructure migration, custom software development, and team training. Each project manager has created a detailed project schedule. However, you are encountering challenge in identifying interdependencies amongst the project and monitoring progress at the program level. Okay, so we have three projects. They have a detailed project schedule. I'm struggling with identifying overall dependency and tracking the program level progress. So what should I do as a program manager? So which of the following approach would best help you in addressing this particular situation? Let's see. Option A, coach project managers to use their detailed schedule and rely on periodic status report to assess alignment and program goals. A possible thing, I can do that. I can probably just rely on my project managers doing the great job and then I can take a periodic review. The only disadvantage here is it's not proactive. I'm not starting with ensuring alignment and having my own process of ensuring the dependencies and gaps. So I'm just relying on project schedules and their status reports. Yeah. So let's see if we get a better option. Option B, publish a standard template for project schedule to ensure consistency in milestones and progress across all projects. So it is more or less like A only, rather less than A, because it is only talking about I will make sure the project schedules use similar structure. They have the same terminologies. Sometimes we may start interpreting if they are using similar structure, same terminology. Probably I as a program manager will be able to understand it faster. Yes, that's true. But it is not helping me to resolve and identify dependencies and monitoring progress at a program level. Yeah, it helps me reading the project schedules pretty fast. That's there. Option C, consolidate high-level milestone from each project into a simplified tracking document to provide program-wide overview. Yeah, many of you in your real world may do that only. I have seen many program managers, they rely on Google Sheet, Excel sheet, where they have a dependencies and overall things prepared. And that is something is working as a good tool for them to know where we are at a high level. So it's a candidate option. Let's see, it's a practical option which you might be doing it already. Let's see if we get a better option. Option D, create a master schedule that integrates the schedule of all constituent projects, clearly identify dependencies and align them with program milestones. So option D is a more systematic and little open-ended than option C. Option C is specifically talking about creating a sheet, yeah, tracking sheet, your tracking document. But you are saying that I will create a master schedule. Now, sometimes those tracking document may work as a master schedule. That's there. But master schedule, in many cases, you may have a systematic way of making master schedule where the real project schedule may get integrated. You may have a top level view also coming very often out of those master schedule. So in this particular case, I definitely need to make sure that I have a mechanism of identifying dependency, tracking them, and going with preparing a master schedule and integrating all my project schedules well at a sufficient level helps me in resolving that problem. Option D is my choice. Let me know your choices. Question number 23. As a program manager leading a complex program with interdependent projects, a change in the infrastructure upgrade project shifts part of the work into the application development project. Okay. This change significantly impacts the scope of application development project, but does not affect the program benefits or timelines. Okay. Which artifact is most likely updated to facilitate the planning, execution, and monitoring? Okay. So inside the program, there has been change in the part of the scope of one project to the other project, but overall doesn't seems to be impacting the timelines and the benefits, but something has to be adjusted to ensure that we should be able to plan, execute, and monitor this shift well. That's the question. Option A, program work breakdown structure, looks good because it helps me in identifying which particular component of the work has moved. So I will definitely update it. So make sure that I have a clear mapping. Looks good. Program business case, most likely not. Yeah, because the overall program level business case, as of now, the question is not indicating any impact on that. Our benefits are same, our timelines are same. So very least probable to change the program business case. Program roadmap, possibly it will get impacted, possibly, not very clear, because question is indicating that it has not producing any impact on timelines and benefits. Even if we update the program roadmap, yeah, if there are some components are changing, usually when we have a change in the project level deliverables, the program roadmap may get impacted. But that roadmap impact may not be the goal of facilitating planning, execution, and monitoring. Roadmap itself is a tool for showing the alignment and high level communication. So if I have to compare A and C, I will go with A because it's almost certain the A is getting impacted. The C might get impacted, and it is very clear that A is helping me to plan, execute, and monitor the work rather at a program manager level. The program roadmap is more like a stakeholder level tracking tool. So these changes may not go into a detail which requires that much change. Yeah. Option D, program charter, very unlikely. So program charter, program business case, definitely I can put it aside because it is very clearly saying that it is something to do with the project level component. If the word project business case and project charter comes, then I get confused. Yeah, then I may not have a difficulty to find the right answer. But when the word is program business case and program charter is coming, so we know that overall program level things, and the question is clearly indicating that has no impact. So in this particular case, I go with option A because it is helping me in ensuring the overall consistency and identifying tracking, accountability, and division of work, which will help me in doing planning, executing, and monitoring. Question number 24. You are recently taken over a program that has already in progress. Upon reviewing the program's documents, you noticed quality requirement and standards are outlined but have not integrated into program scope or schedule. Okay, these inconsistencies are raised concern about alignment and execution effectiveness. Okay, so this is another plot you will see many a time in your PGMP exam, that which shows that you are dropping into a program which has a mess, and now what do you do next? Yeah, because it might become a little difficult to show that you have created the mess. So this is something which is coming up. So you are joining as a new program manager, and you see but in an existing program, and you see there is inconsistency between quality and the scheduling and the scope. That three things are very coming, and then you may get worried about other inconsistencies also. What is the best approach to address these issues and ensure the program is aligned with its objective? Yeah, so alignment, integration is the focus area. Option A, study the existing program management plan thoroughly. Good idea. Identify gaps where risks and quality elements are not integrated, and update the plan to include these elements. So in general, I need to review everything. It is talking about fixing the program management plan, which is a great idea. Yeah, so I go further. Option B, conduct a detailed analysis of current WBS to identify missing elements related to risk and quality to ensure they are incorporated. A B is included in A. Yeah, so we can say that when I'm talking about program management plan, I will look into the aspects of scope, I will look into aspects of cost, scheduling, all of them, and I will ensure that inconsistency can be taken care. Yeah, whereas the B is specifically talking about the element of program management plan, which is WBS. So I still prefer A. Let's see option C. Organize a meeting with the program manager, project managers to discuss the identified gaps and collaboratively determine how to incorporate risk quality into the execution plan. So now this may look great. Yeah. But overall, I'm a new guy and I need to start with identifying the gaps and then start fixing them. And I am not directly jumping to assuming that project manager has a detailed information. Yeah, there is a possibility, but there could be other stakeholders also who may provide me the inputs. Yeah, so just narrowing to a project managers and hoping they will help me may not be suitable. I still prefer A. Option D, engage with the program sponsor to escalate concerns and seek guidance on the prioritization and integration of risk and quality into program scope and schedule. Question is basically trying to pick a plot that you have not done good integration. Yeah, or the previous program manager has not done a good integration. There are some aspects of the program which are not integrated with other aspects of the program. So what I need to do, I need to understand how big the problem is, and I need to find out how do I integrate them. So I need to first list down the things, and then I need to identify the gaps and things, and then I need to update. Yeah, that's something we need to do. So I need to revisit the overall program management plan. Now, option A is saying do this. Yeah, option C and D are talking about a mechanism of probably this is how you can update it. Yeah, you can update it by talking to people. You can update it by talking to sponsor, escalating to sponsor. And B is talking about a specific aspect only. So I see overall, when I have to judge these kind of question, I try to take a safe bet, which is clear cut coming in, and I will go with option A because it is talking about fixing the program management plan, because I understand the question is trying to give me a hint that there is a problem in a program management plan. I will definitely do it collaboratively. It is not very clearly coming out how I'm going to do it. Yeah, but if it can give an indication of that, I will do a gap analysis and work with the stakeholders and the team to fix it, that would have been more better. But looking at the options, I need to go with option A. Now, when even all these questions are created by me, I could have created the options which are more clear. Yeah, I could do that. But the problem is, it will definitely make my job easy to justify the question. But the problem is, in your exam, you won't get that clear cut easy, logical, one option coming out very clearly. There will be gaps in your right options as well. So we need to start learning how to find best out of available option, not necessarily a best idealistic approach. Yeah, that's the way we are learning. Question number 25. You are initiating a new program and have started developing the program management plan and its subsidiary plans, including those for scope, schedule, risk, quality, and resource management. The program sponsor has requested that each aspect of program planning be thoroughly detailed. Additionally, the sponsor wants to review and authorize each part of the plan, like scope, schedule, as soon as it is completed. So rather than waiting for the entire program management plan to be finalized, what is the most appropriate way to address the sponsor's request? So the question is about preparing the program management plan. There are various aspects of program management planning, and in order to get the things done, the sponsor assumes that or requests us or remind us to be more detailed and want to do incremental review and approval. So in general, when we talk about incremental review and approval, it looks a great idea if we think about frequent feedback mindset. But when we are focusing on program management, the holistic view is also important and the strategic alignment is also important. So I can't just carry it away and say, let's do things in the incremental manner all the time. Let's see what are the options. Option A, agree to the sponsor's request and present each part of the plan for authorization immediately after it is drafted without waiting for the full program management plan. Say it may look good, but we need to understand the aspects of program plannings are interconnected. I talk about scope, and then I'm preparing the work breakdown structure, and then I'm going to a master schedule, then I'm talking about funding. They may impact each other. There is an aspect of quality which may also impact this particular scoping. So finishing and finalizing the things in the parts may not look logical. It has to be done in a holistic and iterative manner. Iterative manner means we keep working and keep revisiting the other areas. Option B, partially agree with the sponsor and propose reviewing the approval of scope and work breakdown structure first, while deferring the approval of other part of the plans until later. Actually better than A. But it is assuming that the scope is foundation of everything. So we can probably review the scope first, and then we will talk about scheduling, budget part, and the legal part, or the procurement, or other aspects of program planning. Yeah. So yeah, it is kind of a middle approach. But in general, I want to have more holistic approach. But this is a candidate option. Option B is a candidate option. Option C, provide us the sponsor with a detailed schedule for each subsidiary plan will be completed and ready for review and authorization. So we are saying that we will give you timelines, and based on that, you can keep approving it. So it's more or less like A only, that this is how we will do the things. Option D, agree to the periodic review of each part of the plan with the sponsor. Great. But emphasize that final review and approval may only occur after all components of the program management plans are integrated to ensure alignment and address interdependencies. Great. Yeah. So in my view, A and C are clearly out. B and D are something which we need to think about. And I see the B is talking about a possible middle line, but D is not rejecting the idea, but it is saying that we should take a holistic view. So let's not jump into finalizing one part of the work. So that way we can choose the option D in this particular question. Overall, testing our skills of understanding program management plan and its components. How do we prepare it and how do we take care of them? Question number 26. You are managing a dynamic program where program requirements are changing frequently. All three constituent projects are using an adaptive life cycle and operating under a team of teams approach. Yeah. It's a little tricky. It's adaptive life cycle. You can expect few questions only in the exam which are at this nature, but you can. So we have a 3 component projects and they are using adaptive life cycle and they are working as a team of teams approach. Due to rapidly shifting priorities and emerging requirements, the program faces challenges in maintaining alignment and coordinating among the component teams. Yeah. So what is the best approach to ensure alignment and effective collaboration among component teams in this dynamic environment? Yeah. So you have a changing environment. That's the important element to keep in mind. As a collection of agile teams, you may not have a very clearly identified milestones and interdependencies which can be predicted very well, yeah, because all of them are agile team. And that's why we are bringing the program management principle team of teams. Yeah, so that's the idea, which is a hint it is coming. How do you ensure alignment in such kind of environment? Option A, work closely with the project leaders to gather regular status update and make frequent adjustment to the program based on their inputs. It's a candidate option if we think about predictive way or in general program management. In general program management, I should be having my master schedule and then I should be collecting information about it, and then I will make sure everyone remains aligned. That's there. But the question in this particular mindset is agile oriented approach for managing the program. So that way, if I think like I need to give more ownership to the agile teams because they are working in a dynamic environment. So me becoming bottleneck for status update is not a good idea. I could be a facilitator there. So I go away from option A. Option B, focus on enabling component team to hold frequent coordination meeting to resolve dependency and align their work. Looks good. Yeah. Sometimes you hear a word scrum of scrum for it. So this is something that in agile way of working, the collaborative and interactive communication is a key for ensuring alignment and finding out how do we respond to changing situations. So that way, option B looks good. Option C, regularly update the program master schedule and roadmap by collecting progress updates from project manager. It is more like a option A only, but using some keywords to attract you to choose this option because it is using a word program master schedule and roadmap. Yeah. So I can definitely do that, but it should be as a second thing. The primary thing is people collaborating, and then I will keep ensuring that these master schedule at a high level master schedule, because it's not very predictable, and overall roadmap is always reflecting how we are moving. Yeah. But the problem is right now we are focusing on supporting team to manage and collaborate well, rather than to have a stakeholder level view how things are moving forward. So B is a first condition, and then I will do C or A, but I should start with the option B, and A and C can come later. Option D, establish a centralized command structure to make decisions and ensure alignment between teams. Again, it is going against the idea of agile and dynamic working. If you have a centralized group who is taking decisions, then we are not creating the empowered space for responding to changing situations. So when you see agile oriented approach, there is a possibility of 2-3 questions comes in, then think little differently than our other part or other way of thinking or a predictive way of thinking. In general, in a program management, we think in a predictive way. Sometimes it may make you feel that we are always waterfall. You can say at a program management level, we don't plan too much in detail. Yeah, the high level things are planned, and those high level things are pretty much consistent. Yeah, and we want to really track them as a predictable things in general, until unless question clearly shows that you are working in the adaptive environment. So by default, when I'm dealing with the PGMP questions and the exam, I think predictive because I'm planning only at a higher level and milestone level. But if the question clearly indicates you are in the adaptive way of working, then I change my style. That may happen for few questions only. So in this case, I go with option B because I want to facilitate and make people collaborate and run their Scrum of Scrum meetings frequently. Question number 27. You are managing a program with 3 constituent projects. One is using agile way of working, while other 2 follow a predictive life cycle. Okay, now this is more interesting. The program relies on 2 specialized security experts who are highly skilled and expensive resources. Okay, shared across all 3 projects. Yeah. So in a way, 2 agile, 2 predictive and 1 agile, and then they are sharing people. They are sharing 2 secure specialized skill people. Now, due to the unpredictable resource need of the agile projects, conflicts are arising, impacting resource allocation for the predictive project. And the program current cost performance index is 0.9. Yeah, so that's the another information is given. So the challenge is agile teams are having unpredictable requirements. So they have an unpredictable requirement for the shared resources as well. And sometimes it creates a bottleneck, which is impacting the other projects as well. So what should I do? And as of now, your cost performance index is 0.9, which means that you are doing less than what you should be doing, you are spending more money and getting less value out of it. That's another indicator about your current project health. It is not that bad, but it is not green. Yeah, it is a little bit less than your plan. So what is the best approach to address the conflict amongst the projects? So option A, raise a change request to allocate dedicated security expert to the agile projects to improve predictability and reduce resource conflict. I can do that. That's a possibility. But what will happen to my predictive projects? Yeah, that part is not clear in option A. If I assume that I will hire more people, then I don't have that much budget. Yeah, so I need to see, as a overall goal of a program management is ensuring good way of utilizing our existing resources. That should be my mindset, because resource leveling and working closely with my available resource is something my goal. Let's go with option B. Hire additional security expert to ensure all projects have a dedicated resources, even if it increases program cost in the short term. So I will say A and B are more or less, to me, looking same. The A was not talking about what will happen to a predictive lifecycle project. It is saying for the agile, we want to give the dedicated one. Maybe the predictive one will use the remaining one. That's the idea. And here it is clearly showing, let's have everyone one, and or have a dedicated guys, and we don't have to do this kind of confusion. Possible solution, but the question is also indicating your cost situation is not that great. Yeah, so that indicator plays a role here now. Option C, adjust the program master schedule to prioritize the predictive projects since they have a more structured resource need. That is definitely easy to out. The question is nowhere indicating which one is more important. So how can I prioritize the predictive lifecycle thing? So C is easy to discard. I think doesn't make much sense. Option D, facilitate the development of working agreement among teams to promote frequent information sharing to optimize resource uses across agile and predictive project. Great textbook answer. So overall, my goal as a program manager is ensuring that we are managing the project together so that they produce far more effective results, which is something not coming if I manage them as an independent components. That is where the program management starts. So my goal is good amount of resource sharing, good amount of agreement, collaboration. So we create synergy. Even if the teams are predictive, adaptive, still I need to create synergy. And option D is clearly focusing on synergy and resource management, and creating the working agreement collaboratively, not using any judgment, which one is better and which one has to be prioritized, and also respecting the idea of not hiring the new person because the cost performance index seems to be not doing good. Yeah, so that is a good option. So more communication, and they can have some working agreement to make sure such kind of issues can be resolved. Question number 28. You are managing a program that includes both agile and predictive team working together to deliver integrated outcome. Yeah. Recently, one of the integrated deliverable was found to have significant defects. Upon analyzing, you discovered that while the predictive team followed established quality standard, the agile team did not adhere to consistent quality criteria, leading to misalignment in quality expectations and delivery. Okay, interesting. So what is the best approach to ensure consistent quality standard across all program component and prevent such issues in the future? Yeah. So the agile theme continues. So you have a component which is getting integrated with the predictive. Predictive is having proper definition of work breakdown structure, scope, test cases and all, and that ensures it is taken care. Since agile is working in a dynamic environment, somehow it lacked that, and ultimately the integrated component is creating a problem for you. Option A, ask the agile team to define their deliverable and quality criteria in advance to improve alignment with program goals. So the whole idea is the deliverable may not get defined very much in advance because we are working in the agile manner. If we can define them in advance, then we are no more agile. Yeah. So it may look good. Option A may look good if you think in a predictive way. Guys, you need to define your deliverables and quality criteria as well. So we make sure that you meet it and then done. Yeah. But then it becomes a predictive lifecycle project. So let's see if I can get an answer where agile remains agile. Yeah, it remains that way, responding to change, but adhere to quality. Yeah, that's the option I'm looking for. Option B, implement a clear definition of done with the agile team to ensure deliverable meets program-wide quality standards before integration. So if you are hearing this word first time, then better have a clarity about what is called definition of done. So in the agile way of working, you identify requirements sometime in the format of user stories. Each user story has their own detail, which is called acceptance criteria. And then when we also create an increment level, deliverable level, completion understanding, which ensures that when we mark a particular user story complete or set of user stories complete, they should meet those agreement of those defined internal quality requirements. Yeah. So internal quality requirements ensuring that we have a common understanding of completeness of our work is called definition of done, and it is applied on top of your acceptance criteria. On top of it ensures all the stories or all the work items are meeting that particular thing. So this keyword is clearly coming up and say you probably need to fix your DoD, because agile team need to have a DoD which ensures that we don't face any issue at a program level integration. Yeah, so we need to have a better agreement on what should be considered before you mark something complete. That seems to be a great idea. Option C, focus on increasing testing effort during integration to catch up defects early and avoid rework after integration. Great idea. Yeah, it is not at all a bad idea. But B is better idea. So when we have an understanding of DoD, then we need to make sure that we do C also. Yeah, first I do B and then I do C. Integration is done more frequently. We do a better integration testing, but we need to start with having a clarity about what is need to be finished. And then we will do the testing. Testing is not the solution. Testing is the extra check that our previously applied solution is working. Yeah. So we need to finish the problem from the root and then use the testing to find out that it is really finished, rather than not finishing the problem and thinking of doing testing and finding something and then going back. Then it is creating unnecessary rework. So as of now, option B looks good. Option D, establish a formal sign-off process where deliverables from both agile and predictive teams are reviewed against program-wide quality criteria before integration. Yeah, so possible, but that thing is called definition of done. And in general, we don't want to have a process for sign-off. Since the agile team is coming, they will have an agreement. If needed, we can have some review for integration, which is given in the C also. So D looks good, but it is not coming right because it is using the word formal sign-off. And second, it is focusing on later problem identification, then starting with the agreement. And these are the two important elements of that option D. So I go with option B here. Yeah. So this is how we can understand the agile and program management together. Question number 29. You are managing a program that includes both agile and predictive components. While developing a program roadmap, you encounter challenges aligning the agile projects with the long-term goal of the roadmap. Agile team focuses on short-term deliverables like user stories, which do not provide high-level details needed for effective roadmap planning. Yeah, so what do? You need to prepare a roadmap, because at an overall program level, I want to have clarity. And as I said, that since we plan the things at a high level, they should be sufficiently predictable at that level. So we are not necessarily going to a user story level. That's the idea. But that's the problem. The teams are working on the user stories and you are struggling with the high level roadmap. Option A, use only predictive component for the program roadmap as agile deliverables are too dynamic to integrate effectively. Now, you are saying that the agile part of their work we will not show in the roadmap. But then we are not giving the complete picture to our stakeholders. I need to show the overall direction of our product, our program, how are we achieving benefits over the timelines. We need to show interdependency between various components. We need to show milestones. That all has to come out from the roadmap. Yeah. So I can't exclude part of my program. It will not give me the holistic view. So I flag it. Option B, base the roadmap on details in the user stories and conduct frequent meeting with the agile team to adjust the roadmap as needed. Possible. Now this requires little bit understanding of what is user story. User stories are expected to be very small incremental of requirements. You can see this word in your PgMP exam as well. If you are hearing this word first time, you can understand it's a tool for exploring the requirement in agile way of working. Again, not many questions, but few questions can come talking about this kind of terminology. So it is very less efficient to directly work on a user story at a roadmap level, because you may have 100+ user story for a given part of your program. Yeah, so that is too much detail. Frequent meeting is a good idea. Updating roadmap is okay, but not so frequent. Yeah, that's there. So let's see if we get a better option. Option C, avoid creating a roadmap since the program has a mix of agile and predictive component. Definitely you don't do that. You need to have a high level roadmap. Option D, collaborate with agile team to create a high level requirement using epics and use epic level visibility to align agile deliverables and with the program roadmap. This is the answer. Yeah. So option D, using the term epic. Now, epic is a, you can say, the high level container or a folder for your requirements. One epic may get converted into multiple user stories later, maybe 10, 20, 50, 100, depending upon how big the epic is. And at a program level, we don't want to get into granular details, but we want to have an understanding which area, which bigger focus the teams are going to take. And we can make the roadmap founding on understanding of epics rather than getting into the user story level details. So it is trying to show that yes, you can still do it and you will focusing on epic level understanding to create a roadmap. Yeah, so that's your right answer. Question number 30. You are managing a program consisting of multiple projects, all of which share critical resources, including specialized technical staff and high demand equipments. Recently, conflict over resource allocation have escalated. At times, the shared resources are overbooked by multiple project teams, leading to delays, missing service level agreements and last minute adjustments. At other times, these resources are underutilized, causing inefficiencies and wasted capacity. This inconsistent utilization has resulted in frustration among team and stakeholders, negatively impacting program performance. Yeah, what is the best approach to prevent these issues? So we understand that over-utilization and under-utilization, I want to have a consistent utilization. That is the overall idea. And you know, this is a technique which we call in our program management and project management. If I get that word, I am done with that particular answer. Option A, review the program communication management plan to improve coordination and conflict resolution. Yes, I can do it. Question is also clearly indicating the root of the issue also. The root of the issue is the over and under utilization of resources. So if I want to find an option, if I can get the option directly talking about that root, it's a better idea rather than I only focusing on the thing which is coming at a surface level. So I pass option A. Option B, conduct a resource leveling by regularly collecting resource demand from all projects teams to ensure the program's resource allocation to maximize productivity and efficiency. So we understand resource leveling is a tool which we use to get these things resolved. You probably have a clarity that we use a resource histogram where we see how particular resources are used over a period of time. Here you have a days and here it may have a hours or allocations. And then we also understand that what is the available capacity or constraint for it, say 8 hours. And whenever we have a places where things are going beyond, we need to adjust that. And it can also take care of if we have underutilization, but major focus is making sure the overutilization get taken care and we adhere to the constraint which are given to us by the resource plan or resource calendar. So by doing this, yeah, I can move forward and I have a better utilization of things. So this is as a good idea. Option B is a good idea. I could get a better idea which says do a resource leveling and resource smoothing. Yeah, that's a better one. But in our program management content, the resource leveling is more frequently seen. Resource smoothing is not seen. So I can go with option B as of now. Option C, assign each shared resource to only one project at a time, even if it reduces overall efficiency to eliminate conflicts and make things predictable. So say when you think about pure agile mindset, that will be the answer. But we need to understand that overall goal of the program is taking care of synergy shared things. So I can't just get rid of shared resources and says everyone has a dedicated one, because I understand that overall utilization will only increase when we have this synergy and good sharing. So I can't just go with the isolated approach. I need to solve this problem rather than find a expensive way of handling it. Option D, increase the frequency of project team meetings to discuss resource conflict and resolves them on a case-to-case basis. It's like an option A that we resolve them more frequently, we talk about them more frequently, but we need to go in a planned approach. Yeah, it's not like we will discuss them all the time. So we need to do a resource leveling, and then we can do option D, and then we can have a option A, have a proper communication and coordination for a conflict resolution. But the core problem get resolved when we focus on option B. So focus on resource leveling. Resource leveling may show up few times in your exam when you are taking your final exam for the PgMP certification. If you have anywhere difference of opinion, feel free to comment. It's more about creating the thought process, not about just agreeing to the answers which we are publishing here. All these questions are prepared by us, so we could have controlled the options also, make our life easier, but we are trying our best to give you a right thinking process. That's the idea. And also keeping the questions too much detailed. In the exam, this much detailing or this much size of the question are not that much frequent. You will see some of them, but you will get little less lengthy questions in general in your final exam. So don't get afraid seeing a lot of content in our questions, but this mindset will help you to take care of those difficult questions which will come in your PGMP exam. If you need special assistance for your exam preparation, feel free to connect with us. We do have our mentoring and self-learning program to speed up your PGMP certification.